And for a nice Mother's Day weekend video broadcast for my peeps out there, here's my Mother's Day present to all you females that subscribe to me. Did the Fed just signal the next banking system collapse? Sorry to ruin your Mother's Day with that headline, but realist news has to be real. Bottom line is they're just letting you know collapse is coming and they're taking measures to deal with it. Silver Doctors, as he reports from President Metal Fund Manager Dave Kranzler. Did the Fed just signal the next banking system collapse? Answer, yes, actually. Like a mafia don protecting his family, the Fed is implementing another layer of protection from collapse for the too big to fail banks. This latest deal will prevent bank counterparties from pulling collateral from a collapsing bank. This legislation is a massive warning signal that the global banking system is barreling toward another devastating financial collapse. I thought they fixed it. 2008 bailout. Our dollar's strong. Everyone else's is weak. Well, everything's fine. Jason, what are you talking about? No, what I'm telling you is what I've been telling you. Nothing has gotten fixed. Everything is not fine, although it appears to be fine. Look outside. Birds are chirping. Kids are out there watching their cartoons. But there's this giant storm cloud that you can't see, and it's gained 10 times the size since 2008. The cover story for this scheme is that it will prevent another Lehman Brothers event from taking down the entire financial system. But it wasn't Lehman, per se, that caused the 2008 collapse. Bear Stearns lit the fuse, Lehman was selectively thrown into the explosive mix, and AIG/Goldman sprayed napalm into the explosion, if you will. My source for this information of this is this article from Bloomberg. More Fed protection for big banks. I had to read the article carefully a few times to fill in between the lines, as Bloomberg kept referencing the new rule as a proposal and either whitewashed or misrepresented the facts. The new rule will prevent the too big to fail bank counterparties from taking their collateral away from the bank when the bank is collapsing. When a fund enters into a derivatives trade with a bank, I already knew this had to do with derivatives, counterparties, credit default swap. We already knew this, right? When a fund enters into a derivatives trade with a bank, the fund is required to put up collateral, generally in the form of treasuries. The bank is then free to hypothecate that collateral or make use of it for its own purpose. But if the bank collapses and the fund is in a winning position on its derivatives trade with the bank, it's in the fund's best interest to withdraw its collateral. You won the bet. I made a bet. I'm guessing this was going to go up. It went up. I want my money. It's my money and I need it now, J.G. Wentworth. Goldman Sachs Wentworth. The new Fed rule will actually prevent this. The rule extends beyond derivatives to securities, lending agreements, and repo transactions. So we have three things in there. But the truth is that this Fed rule is aimed squarely at derivatives. The implementation of this new rule, at best, extends the bail-in concept to too big to fail big boy counterparties like hedge funds, insurance companies, AIG, and big pensions. The wellspring for this new banking rule is the Financial Standards Board, a key policy arm of the Bank for International Settlements. This FSB, or Financial Standards Board, is the entity that drafted the bail-in legislation, which has been largely implemented in Europe. Bail-in regulations are now methodically being installed in the U.S. banking system. In its essence, the collateral freeze regulation will eventually morph into a de facto bail-in mechanism and serves the purpose of transferring wealth from the bank's counterparties to the banks themselves. At the very least, this collateral freeze regulation adds yet another layer of moral hazard into the banking system, as banks are incentivized to underwrite even riskier derivatives transactions with the knowledge that the risk of collapse is further minimized because they can't pull their collateral out. You lose, you certainly aren't pulling your collateral out. We're keeping it because you lost. But if you win, you're making money. Now we're suffering for some reason. We keep the collateral because we're hurting right now. We're in a hurting situation. We keep your collateral. This is the same old thing for the banks. Heads they win, tails you lose. Unbelievable. Interestingly, this new law is asymmetrical. If the bank fails, it gets to keep all counterparty collateral locked up. But if the bank's counterparty fails, the counterparty who has no ability to freeze the collateral it put up with the bank. Let me read that again. But if the bank's counterparty fails, that counterparty has no ability to freeze the collateral it put up with the bank. The bank has possession of the collateral. And what is the old saying with precious metals? I'll say it again because this applies here right now. And this forget precious metals. This is just for collateral. If you don't hold the collateral in your possession, you don't own the collateral. Just like precious metals. If you don't hold the precious metals in your possession, you don't own it. This is what happened in the MF Global collapse, where JP Morgan seized all of MF Global's collateral at the detriment of MF Global's customers in their allocated, supposedly non-touched accounts. Got cleaned out. At the time, JP Morgan's move was illegal, but the judicial system looked the other way. So I guess after this ruling, it'll be completely legal, huh? While the funds doing derivatives business with these banks will suffer irreconcilable damage from the new rule, at the end of the day, it will be the investors who have their money with hedge funds, insurance companies, and pension funds that will bear the greatest expense of this de facto bail-in law. So while I'm doing video after video after video recently of pension funds failing and problems and restructuring when they can't do this and the Supreme Court of the state says you can't and they're failing, now throw in some addition. The addition is you're now going to be essentially bailed in. They will bail in what's left of your pension fund. So what are you going to have left? Oh, this bank failed and it was attached. You had your pension funds in there and new law says you can't do. They are going to clean the people out until there is nothing left. They will clean you out until there's nothing left. They will stop at nothing. Oh, I bet when Hillary Clinton steps in, she'll fix it. Wait a minute, hold on. She's been doing speeches. $350,000 a speech. Goldman Sachs paid her. And someone that was in there and listened to the speech, which she refuses to give out the transcript, says it was more like a rah-rah go Goldman Sachs pep rally by Clinton. So how much do you want to bet if she gets in there? And again, she's been picked to be the president. All this is going to go smooth. All these new laws up, no problem whatsoever. There'll even be some new ones. I'm telling you, this is the only thing, and they make them in gold too, right? That's going to be able to even kind of save you by the time this government, this corruption is done with you. So let me read that last paragraph. While the funds doing derivatives business with the banks will suffer irreconcilable damage from the new rule, at the end of the day, it will be the investors who have their money with hedge funds, insurance companies, and pension funds that will bear the greatest expense of this de facto bail-in law. That would be you, the public. Once again, the public gets screwed by the financial system in a way that is being enabled by the government. Why? Because these financial oligarchs are in the government and they put people in place as puppets so that they do their bidding. I'm going to fund your campaign with millions of dollars. You're going to go in with no kind of salary, really. You're going to leave a millionaire, multimillionaire. You're going to be a congressman. You're going to go down in history. You'll be a senator, perhaps. Oh, man, yeah. You just got to do some of my favors, you know. And I got you. Hey, Wasn't for me, you wouldn't be in that position. You would never made it there. I funded that campaign. Yeah, I do. Yeah, you're right. And that's how, ladies and gentlemen, a democracy is purchased, bought, and paid for. It says, complacency breeds failure. Right now, the enormous degree of systematic and non-systematic risk embedded in the markets and in our political and economic system is nothing more than a silent scream. But there's a dull roar of volatility that's slowly rising in volume. There's no telling which event, known or unknown, will turn the public's hearing aid up to 10 from 0. But when that event hits, everyone, including those who can see it coming, will likely be shocked by the unintended consequences which will be unleashed. And again, these little babies will help lessen that blow. The only way to protect yourself from this is to remove as much of your wealth from financial custodians as possible. Not only is the new regulation a clear warning bell of another financial collapse coming, the Fed and the government are making it even easier to trap your wealth. The financial system is one giant roach motel. You can check in, but eventually your money will never check out. And as my buddy Greg Manarino has said numerous times, money does not disappear. It just moves from one place to the other. You're going to get used to hearing the word transfer of wealth. I'm not going to hear any bit of it. Why? Because all of my retirement, if you will, savings, if you will, goes into these babies. And guess where they are? Oh, in a bank? Safety deposit box? Not a chance in hell. Oh, you got a warehouse receipt from a well-known, highly respected, secure facility. Not a chance in hell. In a safe, hidden, and bolted to the floor that will never come out of the ground. Gotta tell you, if people aren't awake and they're not paying attention to these bills and things being passed through Congress that the president, sign off on that one. Sign off on that one. If you're not willing to look, and you know you should look, but you're not even willing to look, then damn it, you deserve anything that's about to happen to you. Especially when someone says to you, hey, look, what the hell is that? Right? If you're outside, what the hell is that? Someone said that to you, you would turn, wouldn't you? What did you see? You know, was it a flying saucer or what? You know, you said that. What? Oh, it was nothing. No, never mind. Or, right? Oh my God, look, what? Oh my God, it's an asteroid coming down to destroy, the state of Florida. That warrants some attention. Let's try that again. Hey, look, they're changing the banking rules and they're going to steal everything from... I don't have time for that. The game's on. I'm sorry, let me try that again. They're changing the banking rules, make it law. They're going to steal everything from you. You're a pensioner, aren't you? Yes. They're going to destroy your pension. Yeah, but what can I do about it? I'd rather go sit here, go buy a brand new 70-inch screen TV, and enjoy myself. Yeah, but dude, don't you ever hear about gold and silver? No, I don't. Nah. My company, we use Fidelity or whatever. These guys are the experts. My company uses them. I'm sure they're not going to listen to you. I mean, who the hell are you? You're a freaking idiot doing YouTube videos. I mean, if somebody studies something for so long, you can become an expert in it. I don't have a college degree. I didn't go to college. I just graduated high school. I started learning how to repair cars in the 11th grade. It was a technical school. It was called Tampa Bay Tech. So I went there 11th grade, 12th grade, started working on cars for several years, realized I didn't like that. It was great knowledge. Comes in use to this very day, but don't want to do it. I'm really into computers. Got my foot in the door, worked my way up, got my foot in the door somewhere else, worked my way up. Here I am today, got a good salary. I taught myself how to program, write code. Nobody. I wasn't sent somewhere to learn it. I didn't go to some school and pay, these outrageous fees, tens of thousands of dollars to learn this. Sure as hell not going to get a degree in that. Come out $40,000 in debt, minimum. Oh, wait a minute. School, learning, the internet is the greatest teacher of everything. You can find anything on the internet. Let me look up how to do some coding in Microsoft's .NET language, which I preferred Visual Basic .NET because I come from Microsoft Access, which is Visual Basic for applications. It's very similar, which I also learned how to do on the internet, watching some YouTube videos, which led me to a site that said we have an intermediate and an advanced class on this. Long story short, I skipped one of them. I think I just did the beginners and intermediate. Cost me $150 that my company I work for now said we'll pay you. If we end up building something out of this that we can use for the company, we'll pay you back, sure. Because that's what I asked. And this was in like 2008, by the way. So, sure enough, I start building this application. The whole company's using it. It has grown so massively. It does every single thing from start to finish that our company needs. On any given month, there's at least a dozen changes, updates, fix this, add that, add a new field, just constantly, every month. So I'm proud that I was able to do that. But I've also learned Visual Basic .NET and made some really neat programs, one of which I've mentioned a few times, that this remote control program, which is like Log Me In or TeamViewer or whatever. It's the same thing, where you can control computer remotely, which is actually ready to be released to the public. Works really good. You can use remote desktop anywhere, behind firewalls, which is fantastic because remote desktop's the best remote control tool out there. You just can't get past firewalls with it. So that's why things like Log Me In or TeamViewer or whatever work good, because they just right-click, connect, done. It doesn't matter where they are in the world, practically you're going to connect to it. So mine does this, but I learned this by myself. I'm not some genius. I'm not this guy that's got this, not that I've had an IQ test, but I'm pretty sure I don't have this huge, IQ. I'm just average. But you can ask me some very technical questions about this, and I would be an expert replying now. Because I know all about it. Code, Visual Basic, whether it's Microsoft Access or, Visual Basic .NET. Man, that guy really knows what he's talking about. He's definitely not pretending. He knows. So, anyways, point being, the very, 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 very few are going to get what I say and say, you know what, I'm going to do that. Because they too have been researching, and they too have seen things they don't like, and they too see things like this that I'm reading you right now and realize this guy's been right all along. And this other person I follow, they've been right all along. And I didn't think they were right. And now I'm starting to see there's definitely something going on here. And everything actually is fake. Everything is fudged. Everything. Oh my God, what did I do? What did Lindsay Williams tell you to do years ago? If you have anything with a piece of paper, anything written on a piece of paper, stocks, bond, pension, it won't be worth the paper it is written on when this goes down. And this article, which is telling you what they're doing right now, shows you they're preparing to do it. The government always does everything in advance. This is, once again, by and for the banks, not for the people. And when this goes down, can you imagine all the, your pension, you got screwed once, they had to redo it again, you got screwed twice, you have very little left, and then all of a sudden a big bank fails and somehow your pension was tied up into that damn thing and you can't get it. The bank got it and actually gets to keep it. Imagine that happening, and then other people telling you there'll never be a revolution in America. There's no. Tell me again why the Department of Homeland Security bought, was it billion or 1 billion or whatever it was, rounds of ammunition? Tell me why that happened again. And I haven't had to say this in a long time, but I'll say it now. What does the Department of Homeland Security do? We've had them for how many years? A decade or more, which I know was after 2001, I think they got started, but, certainly past a decade. Are they doing law enforcement? No. Are they, they're not pulling people over, giving tickets? No. They're not doing, kicking doors down and getting, drug bust? No. They're not overseas, CIA types. No. FBI, no, we already got that covered. What are they doing? What are they doing? They're the force that's going to ultimately deal with you when you get out of line because you're so furious at what happened to you. And it's a top-down system. You'll have Department of Homeland Security. They'll end up federalizing the police departments because they'll be bankrupt. Therefore, the Department of Homeland Security tells the city cops, the sheriff's departments, what to do. Here's the pecking order. Here's the new pecking order. That's how that will go. And then you'll find out why Department of Homeland Security was created in the first place. That's about the time you're not going to want to be a citizen of this country. Great pain must come. Take care.